I got something that is sincerely pressing on my heart here early this morning. It's about 4:10 a.m. this morning. And of course, a lot of times I spend this time, quiet time, meditation, study, prayer. And then, the concerns and the cares of this life starts to pop up in my head. And as I begin to meditate, begin to think this morning, I go back 30 something years, and I start thinking up to the point where we are today, and I'm amazed, and I want you to listen to me very closely. I'm amazed at how we have just literally been duped. The whole society. And you watch it. I went out yesterday and watched people. It's warming up here. And of course, here in America, as soon as it warm up, the first thing people do is take clothes off. But you can go over to the east over there, and it's a whole lot hotter over there than over here. And it gets hotter there. The first thing they do is put clothes on. So you tell me what insanity is. But anyway, this video is about water. And, I'm watching the corporations make extraordinary profits hand over fist from water. Now, I teach. If anybody, if you follow me, if you listen to my YouTube channel, it's no secret that, I started off 20 gallons, but I teach the people that you need to have at least 50 gallons of good, clean water stored in your house, preferably in, glass jars, glass containers, or you'll see something that's got that triangle at the bottom. And if it has like a 7 and above, I think it's 5 to 7. I mostly try to go for 7. You may want to try to put it in a container like at the storage so that the plastic doesn't leach into the water. A lot of sicknesses and a lot of diseases that we are confronted with and faced with today simply comes because of our body is not functioning right, because we will not give our body what is necessary for it to have in order for it to function right. I mean, after all, we're like 70% made of water, and the majority of diseases that take place today takes place simply because of dehydration, headaches. The majority of simple headaches is simply because people will not drink enough water. And I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, Pastor Dowell, if I drink a lot of water, I use the bathroom all the time. But if you stay hydrated, your body gets to a point to where you can retain it and hold it. And at the same time, you also lose a lot of weight if you start drinking a lot of water. And you'll feel better and you'll be more conscious. But one of the natural resources, the biggest resource here on the face of planet Earth, because the truth is we can live without oil, but we can't live without water. We cannot live without water. And if you notice, the corporations are raking in profits hand over fist just from giving you what they call water. And the chances are they're taking that water from your municipal water supply, calling it a spring, or calling it, they're getting it from a lake. And you just because it's bottled, you trust it. We don't do that here. Some time ago, we invested in our own distiller, and we've had given to us a reverse osmosis machine, which the filters are very, very expensive. But I believe in drinking clean water, well water, spring water, if you can find it. But, there's a lot of things that's going on here in America that a lot of people don't understand. I'll give you an example. Did you know it's illegal up there in the northern states to actually take water from the Great Lakes? Did you know that? But they have a big old plant up there. And let's see if you're familiar with this name, Nestle. Some way, somehow, through bribes and campaign contributions or whatever it may, just pick one. They have been able to get around all of the laws, the red tape and stuff, and they've been able to pump water out of the ground from the lakes and give it to you and sell it to you at a profit. And it's utterly amazing. Well, the powers that be know that if you keep a population sick, and there's a lot of things I need to talk about, because I think this latest crazy sicknesses that's been going on is because of the radiation from Fukushima. We have our own ways of testing things, and we've got a few people that have moved from California to Tennessee, and we found out that their thyroid and their liver is very, 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 very weak, while us over here on the East Coast, my thyroid and my liver is very strong. And I'm telling you that there is a setup to keep people massively sick. And if your thyroid and your liver is weak, then your immune system is weak. And then that means that your body is setting up for cancer. Now, let me say something that a lot of people won't tell you. You know, it's hard for cancer to thrive and live in an oxygenated environment. That's the reason why you need to drink good, clean water. And you're not going to get good, clean water from the municipal water supply, where the majority of all Americans are on drugs, and then they go piss in the toilet. It goes out into the lakes, the rivers, the streams and stuff, and then they filter it through, and they use all this chlorine, they use fluoride. I mean, there's just so much that is in it. Just the other day, and I had to quickly come home and do a detox. I seen a water fountain. I said, let me taste this, because it's been a long, long time since I have personally tasted water from a water fountain out there. And I could not believe that people have come accustomed to actually drinking this thing. And I know the reason why. Because when we go into the grocery store, we assume that we're walking into a place that we can trust simply because it's on the shelf, because we simply won't do our own independent research. Then we wonder why our families are sick. And then we drink one of the greatest resources that there is available to mankind, which is water. And we need water in order to survive, thrive, and live. And you need a lot of it. And 50 gallons is that I'm asking you to store in your house, good, clean water. You need that in times of catastrophe, because listen to me for a second. I know I'm jumping thoughts here because they're running real fast and I'm trying to get them all in. But you know the way that the powers can control a major city? All they have to do is shut off the water supply. That's it. Just shut it off. Just shut off the water supply. Are you prepared in case of time of famine? Would you have your bathtub filled full of water? And if you're a family of four, how long do you think that a bathtub full of water will last you if you haven't done this right here? If you have not changed this thing right here, your mind, because, you know, it has to be rationed. And that's the reason why you need to be hydrated before that time, and you need to start exercising. You really, truly need to start exercising. You know, I get all kind of excuses from older people. I get them left and right. Oh, this, oh, that. They can tell you about all their elements. They can tell you about all, and they'll tell you about all their pain. And then I can go on here on YouTube and I can search people the same age as these people are who are not making the excuses. I over and over and over again. And then all I get is crickets. They just be quiet. It's because it's the mind. It's the mindset. You may not be able to do the things that you was able to do when you was younger, but you can still exercise. And you do need to exercise because it does profit little. Even now, if body exercise profit little, what about no exercise? And see, the mind needs to be changed, because what we do is we feel pain, and then we want to cover up and mask that pain. We want to make excuses for that pain rather than changing our mind to go the other way. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old and I feel pain, and I feel pain all in my body. First of all, you know, when I was in my 20s and stuff, I jumped out of airplanes for the United States Army for 10 years. And I did it a whole lot. I even used to volunteer. Can you imagine that? Even on the weekends, just to go call a fun jump. Can you imagine that? Not thinking, because I didn't have the wisdom, knowledge, or understanding, not thinking that by the time I get in my 40s that my body was going to be paying for all these landings and all these slams that I hit the ground with. And boy, does it pay. And I'm telling you, there's a time when you're young, but if you are able to live and you're fortunate to live, you're going to get old. And I've learned over in my life, just my little short period of time of living, that when you keep your muscles strong, it alleviates a lot of pain off of the joints. And not only that, but water lubricates them. But you need good water. You need good water. You don't need water from the tap. You need to stay away from this stuff because you're basically drinking poison. You need to get your distiller in the house, and you need to, if you can, get your reverse osmosis machine and watch your health start improving when you start drinking good, clean water. You need to filter in and out everything that may be coming out of any faucet. That's just all it is to it. But I'm amazed that we've gotten to the point now that they can sell us water. And you have to understand the regulations and the rules that they make today. It doesn't make no difference. They can tell you it comes from Fuji, whatever you want to call it, and we will believe it simply because it's in a bottle. It looks pretty and everything else, and we think we're doing something because we're carrying around a bottled water. I mean, just this Passover, Elder Doug is over 50, and I'm quickly approaching 50. And we got people half our age that came here to work, that they spend their time. They're supposed to be health nuts. They're tired. They're lethargic. They're lazy, excuse making. They can't work no more than 4 or 5 hours. And I'm talking about people half my age. They're supposed to be in the prime of their life. They should be able to go from sun up to sundown. Now, I'm not jumping on people per se, but I'm saying that if you don't change this life right here, meaning this mindset, your life is going to be miserable. I mean, literally miserable. And again, I don't exercise every single day. I really, truly don't. But even at this age right now, and I very rarely do push-ups. I've been doing them a little bit lately because of the younger generation. I'm trying to teach them a work ethic. I'm trying to teach them the benefits of staying in shape, the benefits of keeping your mind and your conscience healthy and clear. I'm trying to teach them this. And the only way that you can actually teach this generation is by example, because when you look at the TV and you look at some of the adults around us, there ain't too many good examples that are left today. And that's just a flat out truth. But I'll get down and I'll do 50 push-ups at a drop of a hat, just like that. Just in order to stimulate the conscience of the youth, the younger people, to let them know that, yeah, it's going to be painful, but, you know, you've got something to learn in this life. And boy, do I preach water. Man, I preach and teach water. Man, I'm talking about drinking water all the time. I guess I said all that to say this. You need to start taking care of yourself. You're not going to get the nutrition that you need just by cooking food. You're not going to get it. You go back in my archives, you see it. We got this stuff that we just call it green stuff. And of course, I'm sure I'm going to get my enemies out there and make a joke on that, but there's one thing about it. We have probably just about, I don't know, maybe between 50 and 70 people that attend Shabbat service here with us. And not a one of us, I'm going to say something that is totally off the chain in this world. Not a one of us is on any prescription drugs. And Mother Stallings is the oldest person here. She's 84, going on 85 years old. And she is on 0 prescription drugs. All the way down to a month old. Nobody is under any doctor's care. Nobody is on any prescription drugs. Nobody is taking any drugs of any kind whatsoever at all at the assembly where I pastor. Because on my watch, I actually care about the people. I really, truly do. So we've got to be doing something right here. Regardless of all the noise and all the enemies out there, the people who choose to be my enemies, because I got a lot of people out there that choose to be my enemies, and I don't even know them. I never even met them. But hey, that's their own prerogative. Make their life feel better, it's own prerogative. But I think there's something to be said. I really truly is. I think that's a testimony when you can actually say, how many pastors can say that? How many pastors that can actually say that they have nobody in their assemblies? And I'm not talking about no church of 5 or 10, 15 people. And don't you know that well over, as far as I know, I'm just going to give a number right here. People may come to us all drugged induced by the system and stuff. But between 6 months and a year, they're usually off of them, especially if they follow our lead, follow our instructions, and do exactly what we tell them to do. It's not long before they have gained control back of their life and they're living their life in good optimum health. And for that, I thank y'all for it. I really, truly do. I hope that I've said something to stimulate your mind and conscience, but I think more than anything, you need to get some water. You need to get it fast. And you need to get it in your house, and you need to rotate it. You need to work up to getting at least 50 gallons of water in your house, because you just never know. You never know.